Hey guys, and welcome back into our new segment that we're doing 100 Yards with Stephen Hargis. And today we're at McCallie School with head coach Ralph Potter. And Ralph, you guys had the first day of practice in pads. Everybody make it through there okay? Little bumps and bruises, but otherwise everybody's okay?
Well, I think everybody's okay, and we're glad that they're all here. And we have them coming from everywhere, so I'm glad they're all here finally.
Everybody's here. Okay, well guys, we're going to walk and talk a little bit about McCallie football. You guys, a lot of kids coming back from last year, successful season last year by most people's standards. One of the reasons there's such a buzz about you guys going in the season are the returners coming back. How do you balance that in the locker room? You want guys to have confidence in themselves and in the team, but you don't want to hear all the, what Nick Saban calls the poison that's going on out there. So how do you balance that in the locker room?
I think our guys are smart enough to realize that, we do have a few guys coming back, but there are whole segments of our team that are very inexperienced. And, especially defensively, we only got 3 starters back. We're having to rebuild that entirely. And so we've got a lot to learn. We're very scattered right now.
Now, I know on the offensive side, it always starts, especially with you, with the quarterbacks, and you've got a guy coming back in D'Angelo Hardy, just recently committed to Kennesaw State, so congratulations to D'Angelo there. How much of a difference does that make when you've got a guy who's got as much starting experience, big game experience as D'Angelo does? How much further are you guys ahead already at this point when you've got a returner like that at quarterback? Yeah,
he's just a special person as well as a special player, and he'll go a long way toward defining who we're going to be for sure. With him, it's really interesting because he's had a injured shoulder really for 2 years. He's finally gotten it fixed, and he's just now been able to throw within the last month. And we're trying to fix his mechanics right now because he's thrown in pain. So yeah. He's compensated for that and gotten some bad muscle memory. But we're hopeful that he's going to really be able to improve that part of his game, and if he can do that, I think we'll have a pretty good chance to be good offensively. But last year, people really took advantage of the fact that we couldn't throw the ball very well.
Right. Defensively, I know not as experienced there, but you do have Jay Hardy, who's one of the top prospects in the Southeast on the defensive line. First of all, talk about Jay, what he brings to the defensive side, and then secondly, either side of the ball, some other guys that you're going to depend on heavily this year.
Well, the 3 starters we have back are John, who is really, to me, he hadn't even really touched his potential yet. I mean, I think he's going to get better and better and better. And I think T.J. Mason is the other defensive end that's coming back, and T.J.'s a really good player. Caleb Jones played corner for us last year, and he's coming back. And so we're going to have pretty much a brand new unit. But those guys are, I like them, and I think they want to learn. I think they want to do well. They're just not going to be as physically or mentally mature as the guys we had last year.
Right.
So we have to be patient with them, and I think if you give us a little bit of time, we'll be okay.
Now, we are literally walking on Pete Potter Field. Mm-hmm. Just what that means to you when you come out here on Friday nights when you guys have a home game and you look at the scoreboard, Pete Potter Field, what that means to you, to your family, that you are carrying on the legacy of what the program that your dad built.
Well, it's just an honor to be able to do it, and McCallie is a great school. We're really happy to have been associated with it for as long as we have as a family, and you do really build a lot of relationships and roots that go really deep. So it's a good place.
Now, away from football, I know you're a huge Game of Thrones fan. Books and the series, or just the series?
Well, my son got us on the books.
Okay.
Back, like 2011. He was watching read about the Red Wedding, and one day he just threw the book against the wall and said, "I'm not doing this anymore." And about 5 years later, I figured out why he
was doing it. Were you okay with the last season? What were your thoughts on the last season, especially the ending?
My son, I'll quote him, basically, the concept was fine, the execution was poor.
Gotcha. I think a lot of fans would feel the same way. So,
yeah.
Well, let's hope the execution is much better at McCallie this season.
Right.
So you guys, good luck this year, guys. Again, thanks for joining us for 100 Yards with Stephen Hargis. One little editor's note, as we're getting closer to the season now, we got a lot of things to do to work on for our previews and things like that. So we're going to narrow these down to once a week. So we're now going to move these to the day that they're going to run during the season, which is on Fridays. So beginning today, every Friday from now on, instead of twice a week, it's going to be every Friday that we'll have these little segments that we're going to do throughout the entire season. So thanks for joining us, and tune in again next Friday.